The hospital hallway froze as piercing screams shattered the silence. Two 5-year-old twins were completely out of control. Security failed. Nurses were overwhelmed. Even their ruthless Mafia boss, father known for never losing control, stood helpless. Then a pregnant Omega, waiting quietly nearby, stepped forward. And in that moment, 4 lives were changed forever. We need to go back 6 hours. Mount Sinai Hospital, New York City. 3:47 in the morning, 2 5-year-old girls, Sophia and Isabella Romano, were having panic attacks so severe that 3 nurses and 2 security guards couldn't restrain them. They weren't just crying. They were hyperventilating, turning blue, scratching at their own arms. Dr. Patricia Hall, head of pediatrics, stood outside the glass partition. Mr. Romano, if we don't sedate them now, they could have medical complications. Their oxygen levels are dropping. Vincent Romano, head of the Romano crime family, stood in his $10,000 suit, now wrinkled and stained with his daughter's tears. No sedation. There has to be another way. But there wasn't. The girls had been screaming for 47 minutes straight. Father, Elias, wasn't coming back. He had passed away 8 weeks ago from a brain aneurysm. Just collapsed one morning making breakfast. The girls had regressed completely. Wouldn't sleep alone? Wouldn't eat tonight? Isabella stopped breathing in her sleep from stress, which is why they were here. Vincent Romano, the man who controlled half of Brooklyn's ports, the alpha feared by everyone, was powerless to help his own daughters. Meanwhile, in the hospital waiting room, Bennett sat in the charity patient section, 8 months pregnant, wearing a jacket 3 sizes too big, borrowed from a shelter. He was here because he'd collapsed at the grocery store, where he worked night shifts. Guy had no insurance, no family. His alpha boyfriend Derek had hurt him badly during the pregnancy before Kai finally ran away. That was 3 months ago. Derek found him last week. The bruise on Kai's face was still fresh. A nurse approached. Mr. Bennett, we're running behind because of an emergency upstairs. It might be another hour. Kai nodded. He had nowhere else to be. The shelter had a midnight curfew he'd already missed. Then he heard it. Children screaming. Not normal crying. The sound of pure terror. Kai's Omega instincts physically hurt. His chest tightened. The baby inside him kicked frantically. A nurse ran past. We need Dr. Martinez. The Romano twins are in crisis. Crisis? Medical emergency. Kai stood up. He shouldn't. He was nobody. Just another homeless. Omega. But those were children in danger. He followed the sound. What happened next would change everything. Before we continue, if you love emotional Omegaverse stories with found family, protective alphas, and happy endings, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post new stories every week, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next now. Back to the story. Kai reached the pediatric wing. Security was distracted. Everyone was focused on the crisis through the glass window. He saw 2 small girls, lips turning blue, doctors preparing sedation, and a tall alpha man being held back by security. Kai pushed through the door. Everyone turned to look at him. Dr. Hall said, "Sir, you can't be in here." But Kai was already moving. He dropped to his knees in front of the twins. It was awkward with his pregnant belly, but he managed, and he did something that shocked everyone in the room. He didn't try to calm them. Instead, he started matching their breathing. Short, panicked gasps. Then, slowly he extended the exhales. The girls noticed. They were staring at him, still gasping, but watching him closely. Kai breathed with purpose. In for 3 counts, out for 6 counts. In for 3, out for 6. Sophia unconsciously matched his rhythm. Then Isabella did the same. Their oxygen levels started rising on the monitors. Kai kept breathing with them, maintaining eye contact. Then softly he started humming. Not a lullaby, but a heartbeat rhythm. Bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, the same rhythm as a parent's heartbeat that babies hear before they're born. Isabella's small hand reached out toward Kai. She touched his pregnant belly and froze completely. Her eyes went wide. There's a baby in there. Kai nodded gently, still humming. Sophia crawled forward on her knees. Can I feel? Kai took her hand carefully and placed it on his belly. Right at that moment, the baby kicked. Both girls' eyes went even wider. Sophia whispered in awe. It moved. Isabella added softly, just like when Daddy was pregnant with us. The connection clicked. Elias had been their birth parent. The girls remembered being told about when they were inside his belly. They both climbed carefully into Kai's lap, being gentle with his stomach, and pressed their ears against it. Listening to the baby's heartbeat through Kai's body, the screaming stopped, completely. The room fell silent except for the beeping of medical monitors. Vincent Romano was frozen in place, staring at this scene. This homeless, pregnant stranger had just done what $50,000 worth of specialists couldn't do. Dr. All whispered to the nurse beside her. In 22 years of medicine, I have never seen anything like this. Kai started singing softly, an old Dolly Parton song that had been playing in the shelter the night before. It was the only song he could think of. I will always love you. I will always love you. The twins were completely calm now, breathing normally, holding on to Kai like he was their lifeline. Isabella whispered, "You smell like..." Sophia finished the sentence, "like home." Vincent's alpha instincts roared to life. This Omega's scent, even from across the room, called to something deep inside him, something he thought had died with Elias. Part 2, Asterisk. Medical staff treated the twins over the next hour. Their vitals were stable, but they absolutely refused to let go of Kai. When a nurse tried to take them for additional tests, Sophia started screaming again. Dr. Hall looked at Kai with desperation in her eyes. "Would you mind staying? Just until we finish the examination." Kai nodded. Of course. For the next hour, he sat with the twins in the examination room. They asked him questions between tests. "What's your name?" "Kai, is your baby a boy or girl?" "I don't know yet. It's a surprise." "Where's your alpha?" Kai hesitated. "I don't have one anymore." "Do you have other kids?" "No. This is my first baby. I'm doing it alone." Isabella's face grew sad. "We don't have a daddy anymore. He died." Kai's heart broke into pieces. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart," Sophia said quietly. "Do you think your baby would want to be friends with us when they're born?" Kai smiled through the tears gathering in his eyes. "I think my baby would be very lucky to know you both." Meanwhile, Vincent was making phone calls in the hallway in just 15 minutes. He knew everything about Kai Bennett, 24 years old, former college student who dropped out when he got pregnant. Alpha boyfriend Derek Martinez wanted for domestic violence in 2 states. Living in homeless shelters for 3 months. Working night shifts at a 24-hour grocery store for minimum wage. The baby was due in 3.5 weeks. Had $127 in his bank account. Vincent walked back to find Kai reading a children's book to the twins from the hospital's play area. "Can I speak with you?" "Privately." Vincent asked. Kai nodded and turned to the girls. "I'll be right back. I promise." Okay, they said together, though they looked worried on in the hallway. Vincent didn't waste time. "I need you to come work for me." Kai blinked in confusion. "I'm sorry. What?" Vincent continued. "Live in my house. Take care of my daughters. They haven't slept through the night in 8 weeks. They haven't eaten a full meal. They haven't smiled once since their father passed." Kai shook his head. "Mr. Romano, I appreciate the thought, but I'm not a professional. I don't have any training in child psychology or therapy or anything like that," Vincent said firmly. "You got them to breathe. That's more than any professional has managed to do." Kai tried again. "I can't accept. I'm about to have a baby myself, and I don't know anything about your life or your world." Vincent stated plainly, "You're homeless." Kai's face flushed with shame. He looked down at his feet. Vincent's voice softened. "I'm not judging you. I'm stating a fact. Your ex-boyfriend Derek is looking for you. He filed a missing persons report. He's claiming you kidnapped his unborn child." Kai's blood ran cold. "He's lying. He tried to hurt me. That's why I left." Vincent nodded. "I know. I pulled the hospital records from your previous emergency room visits. He put you there multiple times." Kai's voice shook. "How did you get those records?" "Those are supposed to be private," Vincent said simply. "Because I'm Vincent Romano, and in my world, information is currency. I protect what's mine, and I get what I need to do that." Silence filled the hallway for a long moment. Vincent laid out his offer. "I'm offering you $12,000 a month, cash, a private room in my home, full medical care for you and your baby, the best doctors in New York, protection from Derek, legal protection, and a chance to help 2 little girls who are drowning in grief and trauma." Kai asked the obvious question. "Why me? You could hire anyone. Professional nannies with credentials and experience." Vincent answered honestly, "Because my daughters chose you. They haven't let anyone close since Elias died. Not me, not their grandparents, not their therapists. No one. But they held on to you like you were their only hope of surviving." Kai looked through the window at the twins. They were watching him, worried he wouldn't come back. Kai said quietly, "What if I make things worse? What if I can't help them?" Vincent said with certainty, "Impossible. Worse would be them giving up completely. And that's where we're headed if nothing changes." Kai took a shaky breath. "I need to think about it." Vincent nodded. "You have until morning. Here's my card. Call me when you decide." That night, Kai didn't go back to the shelter. He walked the streets of Manhattan until sunrise, thinking about everything. 2 little girls who needed help. A baby who needed safety. A chance at a real life instead of running and hiding forever. At 6 in the morning, his phone rang, a number he didn't recognize. Kai answered cautiously. "Hello?" A small voice came through. "Kai, it's me, Sophia." From the hospital. Kai's throat tightened with emotion. Hi, sweetie. How did you get my number? Sophia explained. Papa gave it to us. We asked him to find you. Isabella's voice joined in. They had him on speaker. Are you coming to live with us? Papa said you might, Kai said. Honestly, I'm still thinking about it. Sophia pleaded. Please come. We'll be really, really good. We promise, Isabella added. And your baby can have our old nursery. Daddy painted it yellow because he said yellow was a happy color. Kai started crying right there on the street corner. Sophia asked with worry, Are you sad? Kai smiled through his tears. No, baby, I'm happy. Tell your papa I'll come. I'll come live with you. Both girls squealed with joy on the other end of the line. Part 3 *. The Romano estate was massive. A historic brownstone mansion in Brooklyn Heights that took up half a city block. Security cameras were everywhere. Armed guards stood at the gate. It looked more like a fortress than a home. But inside, something was different than Kai expected. The house was frozen in time. Vincent hadn't touched anything since. Elias died 2 months ago. His art supplies were still spread out on the dining room table. His coffee mug was still in the sink, unwashed. His house slippers sat by the front door. The staff was grieving too. Maria, the head housekeeper and Elias's aunt, met Kai at the door. Her expression was cold. Mr. Romano hired you, she asked stiffly. Kai nodded politely. Yes, ma'am. I'm here to help with the girls. Maria's voice was sharp. We don't need help. We need Elias back. And you're not him, Kai said gently. I'm not trying to replace anyone. I just want to help. Maria crossed her arms. Those girls have been through enough trauma. Don't make it worse by pretending you can be what they lost. The twins appeared at the top of the staircase. Kai. They shouted together and ran down to hug him. Maria's expression softened slightly when she saw how the girls lit up, but she still looked unhappy about the situation. Over the next few days, Kai learned just how attached the twins had become. They followed him everywhere. To the bathroom? They waited outside the door. When he took a shower, they sat in the hallway. When he tried to sleep, they climbed into his bed at 2 a.m. Kai tried to set gentle boundaries, but every time he was out of their sight, they panicked. One night, Vincent found Kai sitting on the floor outside the twins' bedroom at midnight. Vincent asked, Why are you on the floor? Kai explained tiredly. They can't fall asleep unless they know I'm right here. So I sit outside their door until they're completely asleep. Then I go to my own room. Vincent frowned. That's not sustainable. You need rest too, especially with the baby coming, Kai said firmly. Neither is letting them cry themselves sick every night. Vincent crouched down beside him. You don't have to destroy yourself to help them. Kai looked at him with exhausted but determined eyes. Yes, I do. Because nobody ever destroyed themselves for me, and I know exactly what that feels like. Vincent was quiet for a moment, then sat down on the floor beside Kai. They sat in silence together, both watching over the sleeping girls one afternoon. The twins took Kai to a locked room on the 3rd floor, Isabella whispered. This was Daddy's art studio. Papa locked it after he died and won't let anyone inside, Sophia added quietly. But we have a key. We took it from Papa's desk drawer. She unlocked the door and they went inside. The studio was filled with paintings, portraits of Vincent, the twins as babies, beautiful landscapes, abstract pieces with bright colors, and one unfinished canvas on an easel by the window. It was a family portrait. Vincent, Elias, and the twins at a beach. Elias had sketched himself into the picture but never added color to his own face, like he somehow knew he wouldn't be there to finish it. Kai's chest felt tight looking at it. Sophia said softly, Daddy was painting this the day before he got sick and died, Isabella added. He said he was going to finish it and hang it in the living room so we'd always remember our family beach day. Kai knelt down in front of the painting. It's beautiful, Sophia asked hopefully. Can you finish it for us? Kai looked at her in surprise. What? Isabella explained. You drew us pictures yesterday. You're good at art. Kai shook his head gently. Sweetheart, I can't. This was your daddy's special painting? It wouldn't be right for me to finish it. Sophia started crying. Please. I want to remember his face clearly, but it's getting blurry in my head. I can't remember exactly what he looked like when he smiled anymore. Kai pulled her into a hug. Oh, baby. But you have photographs of him. Isabella's voice broke. It's not the same. Pictures don't move or laugh. I want to remember him alive, not just frozen in photos. Kai's heart shattered. He didn't finish the painting that day, but he did something else. He asked Vincent for permission to access all of Elias's video recordings. Home videos, voice memos, anything that existed. Vincent asked, Why do you need those? Kai explained. Because the girls are forgetting him. The details are fading, and that's worse than the grief itself. Vincent was quiet, then nodded. I'll have everything gathered for you. Over the next week, Kai created what he called daddy books, one for each twin. Each book contained printed photos of Elias, transcripts of his voice memos, copies of drawings he'd made, his favorite recipes written in his handwriting, his favorite jokes, and stories about him from family members every night before bed. Kai would read from the daddy books with the girls. Your daddy loved strawberry ice cream. He would eat it for breakfast if Papa let him get away with it. The twins giggled. Your daddy was afraid of spiders, even tiny ones. He would make Papa catch them and take them outside. More giggles. Your daddy sang off-key. He couldn't carry a tune to save his life. But he didn't care one bit. He said music is about joy, not perfection. The twins laughed for the first time in 2 months. Vincent stood in the doorway, watching and listening. His chest felt tight with emotion. This Omega, this homeless, pregnant stranger, was doing what Vincent himself couldn't do. He was keeping Elias's memory alive in a way that brought joy instead of just pain. Part 4, *, Derek tracked Kai down to the Romano estate. He showed up at the front gate with a lawyer and 2 police officers. Derek announced loudly, I'm here to retrieve my partner and my unborn child. He's being held here against his will by this criminal. The police officers were clearly uncomfortable. Vincent Romano's reputation was well known. One officer asked through the intercom, Mr. Bennett, are you at this residence voluntarily? Kai's voice came through the speaker. Yes, officer. I'm safe here. Please leave, Derek shouted. That's exactly what kidnapping victims say when they're being threatened. I demand to see him face to face. That's my legal right. Vincent stepped outside the gate, his presence commanding. You have a restraining order filed against you in New Jersey? You're in violation of that order just by being here, Derek sneered. That order was dropped. Check your facts, old man. Vincent's security guards shifted at the insult. Nobody called the boss old man. Vincent remained calm. The restraining order still stands in New York State. You have 10 seconds to leave my property before I have you arrested for trespassing and stalking. Derek's face turned red with anger. You think you're protecting him? He's mine. That baby is mine, and I will get them back. Both of them. The police officers started backing away. Not wanting to be part of whatever was about to happen, Derek left. But everyone knew this wasn't over. 2 days later, the Castellano family made their move. The Castellanos were a rival crime family that had wanted Vincent's territory for years. They saw Kai as an opportunity. Anthony Castellano sent a message to Vincent. It was a photo of Kai at his last doctor's appointment. With text underneath, nice Omega you have there. Would be a real shame if something happened to him and that baby. Give us the port contracts, or we take what you love. Vincent immediately went into full protection mode. Estate security was tripled. Armed guards were posted at every entrance. Kai was assigned 3 personal bodyguards who followed him everywhere. The twins were pulled out of their school. No one could enter or exit the estate without Vincent's direct approval, but Kai hated living like this. I'm not a prisoner, Kai said firmly. Vincent replied, You're a target. There's a big difference. Kai's voice rose. I've been running my whole life. From my parents who kicked me out for being Omega. From Derek. From poverty. From danger. I'm tired of being afraid all the time, Vincent said desperately. Then let me be afraid for you. Let me protect you. Kai shook his head. That's not how this works. Vincent's frustration showed. It is in my world. Kai shot back. Then maybe your world is broken. They stared at each other in tense silence. Kai said more quietly. I won't teach your daughters to live in fear. They've already lost so much. They need to see strength, not hiding. Vincent had no response to that. The attack happened 3 days later. Kai had a prenatal checkup at a private medical clinic in Manhattan. 3 bodyguards went with him. Vincent stayed at the estate with the twins. The Castellano family ambushed them in the parking garage beneath the clinic. Gunfire erupted. Kai's bodyguards immediately returned fire, but they were outnumbered. One guard shouted, Get him to the vehicle. Now? But Kai was frozen in fear. The stress of the situation triggered early labor. His water broke right there in the middle of the gunfight. Kai screamed in pain and shock. The bodyguards panicked. He's in labor. We need to move him right now. They managed to get Kai into the armored vehicle, but the attackers had blocked the exit. The head bodyguard made a split-second decision. We barricade inside the clinic. Call Mr. Romano immediately. They got Kai inside and locked all the doors, but the clinic's obstetrician wasn't there. It was Sunday. The office was only open for Kai's scheduled appointment. Just one nurse was present, and she was panicking. I'm not trained for delivery. We need to get him to a hospital. The bodyguard said grimly, We're pinned down out there. He has to deliver here. Kai was screaming through contractions. The pain was overwhelming. The nurse was shaking, trying to remember her basic training. And then Kai heard police sirens in the distance. Vincent's voice came through the bodyguard's phone. Hold your position. I'm coming. Reinforcements are 2 minutes out. Just hold on. But the baby wasn't waiting. The contractions were coming too fast. Too strong. Kai delivered the baby on the clinic floor with a terrified nurse coaching him. Through each step, when Vincent's reinforcements finally arrived and secured the area, they burst through the clinic doors to find Kai covered in blood, holding a crying newborn against his chest, singing softly, "I will always love you. I will always love you." Vincent came through the door moments later. He saw Kai, saw the baby, saw the blood, and dropped to his knees on the floor. "You're alive? Oh God, you're both alive." He crawled forward and wrapped his arms around both of them, shaking. Kai named the baby Ethan. It meant strong. The twins were completely obsessed with their new baby brother. Sophia begged, "Can I hold him? Please," Isabella bounced excitedly. "Me next. Me next." They helped with everything. Bottles, diaper changes, burping. They sang to him and showed him their toys, and slowly, something began to shift in the household. The twins started talking about Elias without crying. Sophia said one day, "Daddy would have loved Ethan so much." Isabella nodded. "Yeah, he always wanted us to have a baby brother." Kai asked gently. "Really?" Sophia explained. He said 3 kids was the perfect family number," Isabella added sadly. "But then he got sick before we could have another sibling." They were quiet for a moment. Then Sophia said thoughtfully, "But now we kind of have 3. You, Ethan, and us." Isabella looked worried. "Is that okay? That we think of you like she couldn't finish the sentence?" Kai pulled both girls into a hug. "It's more than okay. It's an honor." One night, Vincent found Kai in Ethan's nursery. The yellow room that Elias had painted. Vincent said quietly, "Can I tell you something I've never told anyone?" Kai looked up. Of course, Vincent sat down in the rocking chair. "The day Elias died, we had a fight. About something completely stupid. I don't even remember what it was about now." His voice cracked, and I left for work angry. I didn't kiss him goodbye like I always did. Kai listened silently, but Vincent continued. 4 hours later, Maria called me. Elias had collapsed. By the time I got to the hospital, he was already gone. A tear rolled down Vincent's face. "My last words to him were spoken in anger, and I'll never forgive myself for that," Kai said softly. "He knew you loved him." Vincent looked up. "How can you possibly know that?" Kai explained. "Because your daughters know you love them, even when you're angry with them, even when you're scared and stressed. Love isn't just the soft, easy moments. It's the hard ones too. It's staying even when things are difficult." Vincent stared at him. "How are you so wise for someone so young?" Kai smiled sadly. "Because I've lived through a lot of hard moments, more than most people my age, and I'm still here, still trying." Weeks passed. Kai and Vincent grew closer. Vincent watched Kai, the children, every day and felt something he thought had died with Elias' hope. One night, after all 3 children were asleep, Vincent asked, "What do you want, Kai?" "For your future," Kai thought carefully. "I want Ethan to grow up safe and loved. I want Sophia and Isabella to heal and be happy. I want..." He trailed off. Vincent prompted gently. "What else?" Kai's voice was barely a whisper. "I want to stop feeling like I'm temporary, like I'm just filling a space until something better comes along." Vincent stepped closer. "You're not temporary." Kai looked up at him. "How do you know?" Vincent said honestly, "Because I can't imagine my life without you in it anymore. Any of our lives." Kai's breath caught in his throat. Vincent continued, "I'm not asking you to replace Elias. No one could ever do that. But there's room in my life for more than grief. And I think Elias would have wanted that for me." "For the girls?" Kai asked carefully. "What are you saying?" Vincent took Kai's hand. "I'm saying I want you to stay. Not as an employee. Not as a nanny. As family, as my partner, as their parent." Kai's eyes filled with tears. Vincent said, "You don't have to answer right now. Just think about it." But Kai had already made his decision. He'd made it weeks ago if he was being honest with himself. "Mark me," Kai said clearly. Vincent's eyes widened in shock. "What?" Kai repeated. "I want you to mark me. I want to be yours officially. I want Ethan to have your name legally. I want the girls to know without any doubt that I'm not going anywhere ever." Vincent searched his face. "Are you absolutely sure about this?" Kai had never been more certain of anything. Yes. Vincent marked Kai that night. The bond snapped into place between them, strong and unbreakable, and for the first time since Elias died, the house felt whole again. 6 months later, the family visited Elias's grave in Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn. The twins placed fresh flowers on the headstone. Sophia said, "Hi, Daddy. We brought some people to meet you." Isabella continued, "This is Kai. He's our parent now. And this is our baby brother, Ethan." Kai stood beside Vincent, holding 6-month-old Ethan in his arms. Sophia kept talking to the grave. Kai takes care of us now. He sings to us like you used to do, Isabella added. And he finished your painting? Well, he didn't finish it exactly. He helped us finish it together. Papa hung it in the living room where you wanted it. Sophia's voice got quieter. We still miss you every single day, but we're happy now. Is that okay with you? The wind rustled through the leaves of the trees overhead. Isabella smiled. I think Daddy said yes. Back at the estate that evening, the family gathered for dinner. The table was wonderfully chaotic. Ethan was fussing and needed to be fed. The twins were arguing about who got the last piece of garlic bread. Vincent was trying to referee while also answering a work call. Kai watched all of them, his heart completely full. Vincent caught his eye across the table and mouthed silently, "You okay?" Kai smiled and mouthed back, "I'm home." Because family wasn't about blood, it was about choice. About love. About staying even when things got hard, and Kai had finally found his family. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more emotional Omega tales. Comment below which moment made you cry. The most part 2 is coming soon, where Kai's past returns with a vengeance. See you in the next story.